Welcome back to the channel. If you watch our last video, you know that we are living in Italy in the city of Lucca. Something interesting is how different life can be when you're outside of the US and how much you get used to the way things are done, or at least compromise with the way things are done in other places. This week we wanted to see Oppenheimer, the new movie that came out in theaters. We had to wait until the theater release days with original version with Italian subtitles because most movies are dubbed in Italian. Before going to the movie, we started with an aperitivo. Here in Italy, it's very common to get together around 6 or 7 p.m. and have some finger food with drinks. After we went to the movie, and for our surprise, it didn't have AC. And as you know, temperatures have been very high everywhere. The building is an old and beautiful theater that was turned into a movie theater. So here's the compromise. We felt the heat, but we were not the only ones. And we all sat there for 3 hours without complaining. The movie had a 5-minute intermission, but I don't think that would work in the same way in the US. In Italy, when you order a coffee, automatically means an espresso. If you want a regular coffee, you have to ask for a caffè americano. Many places will give you an espresso and a little hot water to add to it because they prefer that you desecrate the coffee on your own. We learned here that they name it Americano from World War II when the American soldiers had to put water on the coffee because it was too strong for them. Italians also call it dirty water. After coffee, we were invited to walk a trail up in the mountains and visit a small town called Castiglione. It was a way to beat the heat for a day. We made a quick stop at this bridge that is known as the Devil's Bridge. Tell us the story of what happened.
So apparently they were building this bridge. They were supposed to build this, and the guy in charge of it was actually running late, so it was delayed. And so he had the bad time how to figure out how to make the bridge. So the night before, the bridge was not ready. The night before the inauguration. And so he was like, oh, how am I going to do this? Tomorrow they want the bridge to be here and ready. And so he prayed like, oh, maybe somebody could help me. And then the devil showed up. And he was like, oh, I'm going to help you. I will make this bridge, but I want something in return. I want the soul of the first being that crossed the bridge. Is it okay for you? And he was like, he thought about it, and then he decided to accept it. So the day after he went to sleep, and then the day after the bridge was there, it was ready, it was like this. And so he was happy, and everybody was cheering at him. You did a good job, congratulations. And so they had to inaugurate it. And in order to not to let anybody die, he decided that a pig would have gone through it. So the devil got the pig, and he was so upset and so angry that he jumped on the river and said, oh, I will take my revenge one day. And maybe one day we'll take this revenge.
Oh, so he's still waiting for the soul.
Yes.
Okay, that's a good story. The best way to get to the mountains is by car. You have to be very careful because the roads are very narrow and they are two-way traffic. Okay, so we made it to the San Pellegrino area. And that's the little view. So we're doing the first break with some pastries. What are these called?
Bombolone.
There you go, bombolone. So it's nice up here because temperature is a little bit lower than in Lucca, but it's still hot. It's not we thought it was going to be a little bit chillier, and no, it's still hot. The view is amazing. Okay, we're going uphill, and this is behind a restaurant, drying out tablecloth. This definitely brings back memories from the Camino. And what do we have here? A little altar.
The truck.
There's more trail over there on that side.
Is this the...
It says here that it is from 1902. And now we are going to turn back to the town. The signs will tell you how long it takes to certain places. So check for that. Right here is called Giro del Diavolo, and this is where we turn back. We stopped for lunch at a restaurant called Il Casone. Something you have to be aware is the coperto charge. In Italy, they add this charge per person and basically covers bread and water if the water is not the one that comes in a bottle. So this restaurant was built in 1845, or at least the building was built in 1845. And we just spent 2.5 hours having lunch. And across from the restaurant, you can have this view. stopping in Castiglione. This is still in Garfagnana, and this is we're taking a walk in this town before returning to Lucca. Here there's a monument for the fallen in the First World War. There's another town over there. Beautiful view from up here. We finished our day here and went back to Lucca. Let us know if you have any questions, and we hope you enjoy this vlog. We will see you in the next one.